Hey everyone. Uh, for to for today, I thought I'd talk about a little bit about the money side of being in Salesforce. And the challenge that I have with this is that the amount that you're paid, I think, varies greatly based on where you are in the world. So all of my experience has really been like in the United States. So I know there's like a lot of people from India that watch this channel, and I apologize. I just don't know the salary expectations in other parts of the world. So I think like in general, I think salaries are like maybe a third of what they are in the United States. But it's really hard for me to know what to expect for like starting out in Salesforce. I did recently speak to someone that got into Salesforce a couple of years ago, and they didn't have any Salesforce experience at all, but they had some programming background. So they were able to get hired at one of the big Salesforce partners with no Salesforce experience, and then you just kind of learn from there. So I know I've said this a lot, but if you want to get into Salesforce, don't think that you have to like have all these certifications or experience. Really just start with a partner that's looking for like smart people that are interested in like learning and can learn independently. And as long as I think as you can demonstrate that, you'll probably be able to find a place to hire you. Um, so let me switch over to uh, this document here. Let's go like that. Okay, so, and I'll just start trying to break this down for you. So in terms of salary, really, I mean, there's a big difference between like being an admin versus being a developer. So admins, uh, obvious make less. I don't know if that's obvious or not. Um, but around here, like if you're somebody that has like one certification, maybe the admin cert, right? And let's say you have no experience whatsoever, I would expect that you could get like a salaried job between like 60 and 80,000 a year. And this would be like working for a company that has Salesforce and you're basically their admin. Typically, what'll happen is like their current admin will quit, move on, and then they'll need to find somebody else that can do it. So this would be like as an employee of like a of a customer of Salesforce. And then so similarly, let's say you're a developer that has maybe two certifications, and I'm thinking like the admin and the developer certs, and you want to be an employee of a customer that's using Salesforce. So maybe they're using Salesforce internally, and they have a team of developers, and they're just looking to bring on more people. So I would expect that this person would make somewhere between like 90,000 and 110. That's an employee of a customer. So if you have uh, more experience like related to the domain of that company, like let's say it's an insurance company, and you have a few years of experience in the insurance industry, and you like know all the lingo, um, then you could earn more because you're actually adding a lot of value if you know the common business practices and you don't like need somebody else like a business analyst to like tell you every little detail. So the next level up from there, I think, would be like getting into more contract type of work. Um, So as a contractor, let's say you want to be an admin as a contractor. These positions will pay. Um, Let me think. If you're so there's independent contracting, but then there's like contracting as part of a big company. So if you're, let's say you're going to be a salaried employee of a consulting company, uh, as a like a salary contractor. So admins, you're probably going to want more certifications to be a contractor because companies that hire these people, they want to bring, if they're going to pay like a premium, they're going to want somebody that already has like experience and knows what they're doing. They want to bring in an expert. So they'll reach out to a consulting company and then you'll come in as an expert and you'll be expected to be more like advising them how to do it. So for a consulting company to hire an admin, I would expect them to have to pay you more like 90 to 100K. And then for a developer, um, I'd probably get into more like four certs. And then this is going to be more like 100K to like 100, like 30K. Yeah. So then let's say you want to just like skip being a salaried contractor for another company and you just want to do more like independent contract work. Uh, so there, you're going to want even more certs. I would recommend at least four of them for an admin. Now, admin work is tricky because, there's certainly not as many jobs available for admins as there are developers. Developers is where people are really struggling right now to find help. So let me go to this one. I don't think you need more than four certs. Um, so contract work, I'm finding like like if you were willing to get paid like $80 an hour, that you should be able to find that no problem. Even like $100 an hour is extremely common. Um, but I've seen people, companies pay uh, up to like $150 an hour for an independent contractor. But I've never seen rates that high for just like a basic admin. Admins, I've seen the work kind of topping out at like 100, maybe 120 to stretch it, depending on the certification. So if you were to get more like really, there's a whole nother category of people that is the architect. Architect, architect, and then I think I think there's like four certs just to be an architect, but you should really have more like 6 to 8 certs. And then architects are going to be more like 120 to like even like 200 an hour. Um, but these usually involve, there's definitely, even less of these jobs available, and you kind of have to be willing to go where the work is. Uh, right now, companies are still very open to working remotely. But being an architect, it is kind of a challenge because you really have to engage with a lot of different departments within a company. And sometimes just doing that over the phone is difficult because you're interfacing with people that typically aren't used to working over the phone or through Zooms. These are more face to face, high level people in the organization. So I would recommend, being prepared to do a lot of travel for that. Um, so yeah, so right now the bulk of the work that I do is in this area right here, and so my sweet spot is usually in the like 120 to 140 area. Um, but it really depends on all the different aspects of the project that determine the bill rate. So, I mean, this can give you some idea of like what you could potentially make. Um, so, if you wanted to just get started, I would kind of target maybe one of these two types of positions. So, if you're not like really good at like learning on your own, like if you're the type of person that would say like, oh, I want to get a Salesforce, but I'm just waiting for like that opportunity within my current job. Like I've told them, hey, I want to learn Salesforce. I'm just waiting for them to say, oh, here's a Salesforce project and here's like a bunch of training we're going to send you to. Um, and you expect them to pay for your certifications. Basically, I think that's going to make it very hard to get into it. But if you take it on your own to like spend your nights and weekends doing trailheads, prepping for exams, maybe forking out the $200 to take a cert. If you're like a go-getter, you can definitely make it happen. All the tools are out there for you to do it. Um, you just have to decide, like, right, is the effort worth um, that type of salary? I mean, if you're already an established person, maybe you're like some developer and you're making 90,000 a year, and you look, oh, if I were to take an admin job for only like 70K, that's like a cut, um, and it wouldn't really make sense. So that could be an obstacle, right? But then if you were to do that for a year, and then you start getting more certs, then you have like a number of years of experience, you've got certs, and now you can start moving up higher than what you had been as like a C# developer or a Java developer. Those positions kind of cap out because there's so many people that do C# and Java that it brings the wages down because they can just go anywhere and find somebody to do that. But Salesforce is still very much like a niche type of thing where not a lot of developers even want to have anything to do with it, which makes it obviously very hard to find people. It drives the price up. So yeah, that's all I have. If you're finding your experience is different than what you're seeing here, I'd love to hear about it. Maybe I could help you find positions that are paying more like this. You certainly have to be willing to change jobs, right? And be always looking for a better opportunity than what you're at. Um, but this has just been really my experience over the last few years. I'm not seeing like a decline in demand at all. If anything, it just seems to be getting bigger and bigger. And in 2021, I see this still continuing. A lot of the jobs will say like, "Hey, we need you remote to start, but on site after." Uh, no one really knows when that after is going to be, or if maybe we're here now. I'm not quite sure, but um, I definitely am not finding any shortage of work out there. I still, am daily turning people down to be able to help them. So yeah, so if you have any other thoughts on this, just reach out to me. I'm on LinkedIn. Just search my name, EJ Bantz. Connect with me, and I'll reply to comments here as well. And that's about it for this one. So I will catch you all tomorrow.